Bloquons tout, when France no longer believes in silence. On the morning of September 10, 2025, France woke up to sirens, tear gas hanging heavy in the air, and a single resounding call echoing through streets and highways. Bloquons tout, block everything. It wasn't a political slogan. No party claimed it. No organization led it. It was a whisper that turned into a roar from a society that had grown weary of being pushed to the margins. The movement erupted like a tidal wave no one could contain. Highways were blocked, fuel stations were occupied, train stations were paralyzed, city squares ignited. But this wasn't just another protest. It was outrage finally unleashed. A nationwide outcry, leaderless, faceless, yet frighteningly powerful. And that's where its strength lies. And its danger. With no one to negotiate, there's no one to appease. It all began with a single number. $44 billion. That's how much President Macron's government proposed to cut from the 2026 national budget. The most aggressive austerity package in over 2 decades. The goal? To bring France's deficit below the 3% GDP threshold set by the European Union. But to the French public, it sounded more like a punishment, inflicted on those who had nothing to do with the crisis. Cancel public holidays, freeze public sector wages, slash funding for healthcare, education, social services. The message landed loud and clear. You will pay for this because you are too poor to stop us. And they did stop it. Forcefully. On September 10th alone, over 250,000 people took to the streets. 812 collective actions were recorded, including road blockades, fuel station occupations, and strikes. The government deployed 80,000 police officers, more than 500 people were arrested, and a national poll showed 63% of French citizens supported the movement. That's a number any political party would envy. People didn't just block roads, they blocked a system long accustomed to making decisions without glancing at the ones who will carry the burden. It's no coincidence that François Bayrou, the architect of the proposed budget, was ousted after a no-confidence vote, and replaced in less than 24 hours by a new Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu. This isn't just about budget lines, it's a vote of no confidence in the very social contract. But what should concern any democracy isn't the people's anger. It's the slow erosion of their belief that anyone is listening. That loss of trust has become the current beneath Bloquons tout. The movement has no central figure, no official icon, but every participant shares one truth. They no longer believe their voices matter. And they don't need anyone to speak for them, because in their eyes, no one is worthy of representing them anymore. What makes this more alarming is that it's not an isolated case. It's part of a global tremor of disillusionment. From Dutch farmers blocking roads over climate rules to American students striking against tuition hikes, the world is witnessing a rising tide of roadblocks, literal and symbolic, against systems that prioritize numbers over lives. In this post-COVID, post-inflation era, these uprisings are no longer driven by the hope of reform, but by the fear of losing what little is left. A modern economy may be great at crunching numbers, but it's terrible at measuring exhaustion. And France, one of Europe's most politically rich and complex societies, just proved that. When the ballot feels pointless, people vote with their feet. When parliaments go deaf, the streets find their voice. And when speech is powerless, people turn to a silence that blocks highways, shuts down cities, and demands to be heard. Bloquons tout is a silent scream. And perhaps the most chilling realization is this. When a society has to block itself just to be seen, the system may have been blind for far too long.